What's up, guys? Today we are looking at my entire zero tolerance knife collection. They're not quite gonna fit on frame here very well, but we're gonna roll with it. So this is all of the zero tolerance knives that I have in my collection as of November 24th, 2023. As you can tell, I like ZT knives. I've reviewed several on my channel, and these are the ones that I have right now. I like collecting ZT knives. They're one of the knives that I kind of gravitate towards compared to other models, other brands and stuff. I like them. Ever since I got my first model, I was hooked. And speaking of that, that was the Zero Tolerance 0223 was the first ZT model I ever tried. And when I tried it out, and I got one in hand, I was hooked. From there on out, I was hooked. So I bought one of these. Neither of these were actually my first, but I've had three of them. These are the second and third I've ever had, and from the first time I bought one of these, I was hooked on ZT knives, and then after that, it got, you can tell, it got addictive. So here you can see, this is one of my favorite ZT knives. That's why I really love this model. It's because it got me into these knives, into USA made stuff. A lot of USA made brands I wouldn't have checked out because of them, unless I knew about them, which now I do. And this is a really great model. It's a Tim Gallion design. And I love the clip point blade. I love how aggressive it is, but still in a stylish and kind of refined way. It's super smooth. It runs on bearings. It's got a thicker blade stock. I like how it's beefy, but not too beefy, not super huge in the hand. It fits my hand amazingly, perfectly. The blade to handle ratio on this knife is something that you don't see on knives very often. It has a very, very beautiful blade to handle ratio. You get a lot of blade with, a good amount of handle, a proportional amount of handle. It's almost 1-to-1. It's beautiful how much blade you get. And I haven't really noticed it on any other models quite like this one. This one really stands out to me as having really good blade to handle ratio, which is something I value on a knife. I really like having good blade to handle ratio on my knives. But it just flips super well. The detent is amazing on all of these, super smooth. The tolerances, like it's supposed to have, are very, very tight. It's amazing. So I like the style, everything. I like the G10. I like the titanium. It's awesome. So that was my first ZT model, and as you can tell, I like it because I have two of them. Here they are, two of my ZT 0223s. They're amazing. I use this one right here, and I keep this one pretty much safe. I don't really use this one a whole lot. So, but this one's smoother though. So, yeah. So that's the 0223. It's my first ZT knife that I ever tried. It's a good one. Definitely underrated. People don't really love these as much compared to all the other ones. It's underrated in my opinion. I think people need to give this knife a try. It's really surprised me. Then the second ZT knife I ever really tried out was this knife. This is the ZT 0308. And it's a bruiser. It's a big boy. This is big, tough working knife, and I bought this at a knife store in Pennsylvania, actually, for way too much. I overpaid for this knife, but I absolutely love it. I never plan to get rid of it, and it's amazing. It's super awesome detent on this knife. Nice blade, beautiful tiger stripe. I love the tiger stripe. I mean, if I was going to spend that much, I decided to get the tiger stripe, because you kind of have to when I was spending that much money anyway. I was just, yeah, gonna go with the over-the-top blade. So super nice, super snappy. This detent is amazing. It's like perfect on this knife. Like it's so snappy. You can almost not fail it. It's a big chunky boy. I've never had any issues with this knife. When you carry this thing around, it makes you feel tough, and I like that. So yeah, definitely really like this knife. With the 20CV. A lot of these have 20CV steel. They like to use that. And this beautiful milling. Oh, dude. This milling on here is amazing. The texturing on the handles and everything is awesome. And this is G10. It doesn't really feel like G10, but it is. And it's cool. So, yep. I carry this one a lot. This is one of my worker knives. I use this all the time for all kinds of stuff. And it stayed completely solid and everything. So, yeah, that's the 308. And then we'll take a look at some others. My next one that I got was I believe it was this knife, the 0055. Yes, the 0055 by GTC. It is a GTC design. If you've ever seen any of his designs, it's very much like that. It's funky, all the angles and everything. It has a spring-loaded tab. So as you can see here, you grab this tab, it's spring-loaded. So you pull back, and it swings out. And it makes a really cool sound too. So it's got these titanium handles, S35 VN blade on this one. They did S35 VN instead of 20 CV on this one, so that's interesting. This crazy grind, double two tips. It's kind of like a, I don't know. Well, it's a weird shape. I'm not gonna try and tell you what kind of blade shape that is. You can just see it. There it is. You can see what it is. This one's super sharp and sweet. I got this at a knife show, actually, in it's kind of nearby, a local knife show that I went to, and I got it for a really good price. And it's been discontinued. A lot of these are discontinued. Basically, all 4 of these are on screen are discontinued, as well as the 0223 was just discontinued as well, which was kind of sad to hear. But yeah, this thing is awesome too. Sweet, cool knife. Definitely very unique. So I got to keep that one in the collection. Good blade to handle ratio too as well. And then the next one I got was this knife. This was the next ZT I got, which was the 0850, the 0850. And this is a Rexford Sinkovich design. They collaborated and came up with this knife, and I just love it. I think it's awesome. I mean, I love all these knives, but it's just a really cool design. I tried this out in a knife store, and I decided I was going to own one sometime. It was actually the same knife store where I bought the 0308. I got to try this one out, and I decided it was actually between these 2 knives. I couldn't decide which one I wanted, and I decided to get this one. But I decided I would get this one eventually, and I did, and I love it. Just had to wait around a little while, get the right one. This thing is so smooth. It runs on washers instead of bearings. It's a little bit different. A lot of ZT knives are on bearings, but this one they did on washers, and it is the smoothest washer knife I have ever tried, bar none, which is crazy to think about because there's a lot of washer knives out there. But this knife is the smoothest, most drop shut washer knife I've ever felt, and that is with solid lockup. I mean, still absolutely no play at all in any way, shape, form, nothing. No up, down, left, right, and it's completely solid. And the detent is perfect and completely centered. I mean, everything's perfect, and it's still almost completely drop shut. It's ridiculously smooth. So that's like my favorite washer knife ever. I mean, it's amazing. So yeah, and I love the revolver hints, the hints to the revolver here on the pivot and the thumb stud, and then backspacer, which is really cool. This is the cool backspacer. I like the way they did that. This has a titanium pot clip, which is a little bit different. They don't usually have those. Some do, some don't, but this is one that had that. So it's awesome. Fits my hand really well too. Super comfy. It's got this subframe lock, which is a little bit different. Really light because it's all carbon fiber, both sides with the blue, which all looks awesome. So, yep, that's the 0850. And then my next knife after that was one of these 2. I think it was this one. I bought this at a knife store as well. I managed to pick one of these up. If you're into ZT knives, then you know this is an iconic knife because it is a knife used on NCIS. This was Gibbs knife. This is the Zero Tolerance 0302, part of the 0300 series, and this was the most rare and the hardest to find out of the 0300 series that I found. So here you can see this is a SRV serial number 0302, and this is an assisted knife. This is a Ken Onion design. This is an assisted knife made by ZT. This is one of the older ones, one of their first knives. This is big, bruiser, beefy, traditional ZT. I mean, it's good stuff. This is how ZT was known for. These are the kind of knives that they are really, really known for. So that's kind of what this was styled off of was this knife. This came first, and then they styled this one off of it a bunch. So, yep, it's got this nice hand scale, sweet tiger stripes. I mean, this thing is awesome. It's really nice. and it's assisted, which is a little bit different, but I don't mind it. I still enjoy it, having it be assisted. I think it's a little bit different. I mean, I have the 308, so I got one assisted and one manual. So this is no lock bar insert at all, which is interesting. It's just, you know, they never did that on this model, but, or at least this version. So yeah, it's got the big blade stops, which you can use as a thumb stud if you really want to, but it slams out there. So this is definitely a rare knife. I love this thing. It's completely solid. Never had any issues with it. So I was able to pick that up at a gun store locally. The owner had it for sale, and I got one, which is really cool. So that's sweet. I'd really like to get the 0200. That's my next thing on my list, is to get an 0200 to go with this. So I can have this one and then the 0200, which is slightly bigger, and then I'll have this one as well. So I'll have kind of like the whole series of them, which will be really cool. And eventually I'll get an 0350 as well, but I'm probably going to get one of those in MagnaCut, which just came out with the green handles. That'd be really cool, but anyway. The next knife that I got was this knife. This is the 0920. And this is a Les George design. And I think it's so elegant. This is like one of ZT's most elegant designs, in my opinion. I mean, it just flows really well. I love the look of it. It's contoured titanium, milled. Got these millings. It feels so nice. It's awesome. Harpoon with the recurve, super unique. Nice blade. Nice flipper tab. Works super well. 20 CV, Les George. There you go. You can see. USA. They're all made in the USA, ZT knives are. And it's got these gold accents, these in the clip as well, which is a little bit weird, but I still enjoy it. And then it's frame lock, and this thing is also insanely smooth. I mean, this is smoother than this knife, smoother than the 0223, I mean, it's drop shot. This is completely drop shot. This is probably the most drop shot knife. Well, the most drop shot ZT I have, at least, which is crazy. But yep, super comfortable in hand. It's got the jimping and everything. It's just super sweet. Really, really comfy. Really nice knife. I like this one a lot. And I don't use it. I don't hard use it. I've used it a couple times for light tasks, but I don't really use this one a whole lot just because I love the design and everything. Also traditional overbuilt ZT as well, because it's huge blade stock and everything. I mean, the blade stock is you know, almost thicker than the scales on the side, so it's kind of funny to me. But super nice, super solid, perfect D10, just amazing. Really cool sounds too, I think. Yep, looks really cool. And then finally, my most recent purchase, which is funny because it was also my most recent knife that I'm going to be selling, or did already sell, is the Zero Tolerance 0600. And I just put up a review of this knife, so if you'd like, you can go watch that review. It's a nice one, but I had to sell it. This is a RJ Martin design. This is a factory custom version, I believe. I think it's a limited edition, at least. And it's a flipper tab, flipper ZT knife, beefy blade, beefy tie handles. I talked about it all in the review, so you can go watch that. Originally, I was looking for the 0500 when I found this knife, and I decided to settle for this because I couldn't get an 0500 because they're really hard to get. I've been trying forever, but I settled for this knife, and I decided I'm going to sell this and keep looking for an 0500. So if any of y'all out there have an 0500 that you let me take a look at, I would be very interested in at least trying it out, or, you know, interested in buying one realistically. But anyway, this is the 0600. Great knife. Just I already sold it, and I'm gonna be looking for an 0500. So yep, great knife. Awesome to try it out. Really enjoy looking at it. It's old beefy ZT. They don't really make them like this anymore, not like they used to. So yep, maybe eventually they will, but I don't think it'll be quite the same as they used to make them. I mean, beefy stocks, everything is just really cool. Anyway, before I keep rambling on, I'll just show them all here. You can see all my knives, my ZTs, full knife collection. Let me know what knives you collect, what type of brand or whatever style that you collect, and let me know what your favorite ZT knife is as well. That's about it for this video. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel and like this video. Goodness, can't talk. And thank y'all for watching. Goodbye.